Welcome again to Quick Flicks. Friends, today we are going to break down a Russian masterpiece movie that tells the story of Russia's richest man's spoiled son, Grisha. Grisha spends all his time partying in nightclubs, disturbing people and breaking rules. He is so rich that he considers everyone else beneath him. One night, after harassing a girl, Grisha is driving his luxury car. Suddenly, a traffic policeman stops him. But as always, Grisha throws money at his face. However, this time, the policeman refuses to take the bribe and tries to stop him. Grisha doesn't care about others, so he speeds away, laughing. The police arrest him. Grisha's father, who's already fed up with him, comes to the jail with a police officer friend. The officer explains that Grisha has become so reckless that he dragged a traffic policeman down the street, and now the officer is in the hospital. Grisha's father angrily bails him out and yells at him, but Grisha casually smokes a cigarette in front of him, thinking his father will just scold him and leave. Frustrated, his father walks away and seeks help from his friend Anastasia, a TV producer, to reform his son. Anastasia takes Grisha's father to a horror movie set designer named Lev. When they reach Lev's house, they see him hanging by a rope. But it's all an illusion. Lev is an expert in creating realistic tricks. He even cuts off his own thumb as part of a trick. Grisha's father tells Lev about his son and asks him to devise a plan to change him. One night, after partying, Grisha sees a truck towing away his luxury car. He runs after it, but suddenly, someone shoots him from behind. Grisha falls unconscious. The next morning, when Grisha wakes up, he finds himself in a stable. A man drags him and starts kicking him, saying, "I told you to prepare the horses last night. Why didn't you do it?" Grisha is shocked because he has never seen this man before. Soon, the village landlord Dmitri arrives and orders his son Alexei to whip Grisha. Alexei hands the whip to Avdei, who starts lashing Grisha. Dmitri warns, "Before I finish my tea, my horse must be ready." Grisha is completely confused about what is happening. Artyom takes Grisha inside the stable. Grisha begs to call his father, saying, "My father will not spare you all." Artyom replies, "Call? What is that? I don't know anything about that. Just prepare the horse or you'll be beaten more." Grisha, unable to understand what's happening, tries to escape but gets caught. He is then prepared for execution along with other prisoners. At that moment, Dmitri's daughter Aglaya arrives and tells her father, "Today is my birthday. No one should be executed." Dmitri agrees, and Grisha's execution is cancelled. All of this was being watched by a bird flying above. But when the bird reached the top of a building, it was revealed that it was not a bird but a drone. The truth finally came to light. This was not time travel. Grisha's father had orchestrated this entire setup to teach him a lesson. TV producer Anastasia and horror movie expert Lev had worked together to create an artificial village that would seem completely real to Grisha. This entire setup was designed to reform him. Grisha felt like he had traveled back in time to a past century where he was living almost like a slave. Everyone in the village was an actor, and hidden cameras were installed throughout. Instructions were given to the actors via microphones about what to do next. In case anything went wrong, a sniper was stationed with a tranquilizer gun ready to put Grisha to sleep at any time. Grisha's father had spent a fortune on this elaborate setup, all in the hope of reforming his son. Meanwhile, Grisha believed he had genuinely traveled back in time. His condition was miserable. He couldn't sleep on the ground. He had to wake up before sunrise, relieve himself in the jungle, eat awful food, and was whipped if he disobeyed the rules. One day, while sitting in a field, Grisha heard someone crying. He saw that Aglaya was in tears. She told him that her father wanted to marry her off to a wealthy old man, which made her very sad. Grisha jokingly said, "That's a good thing. He'll die soon, and you'll inherit all his wealth." Another day, Grisha stole a chicken to make soup because he was tired of the vegetarian food. His friend Hungry asked for some soup, but Grisha told him he had already finished it all. His friend, frustrated, reminded him that he had done all of Grisha's work, to which Grisha laughed and said, "Well, I finished your share of the soup too." When Avdei discovered a chicken was missing, he gathered all the stable workers and demanded to know who stole it, threatening to punish someone at random if no one confessed. In the end, he chose Grisha's friend, who was whipped, but Grisha still didn't care. Later, his friend showed him the marks on his back, which were actually realistic makeup effects. Yet, Grisha remained indifferent. Then Grisha noticed a girl, Leza, dismounting a horse and caught a glimpse of her undergarments. He suddenly realized something. How could she be wearing modern underwear in this past era? He ran up to Liza and demanded she show him her undergarment. He asked, "Where did you get future underwear?" Then He attempted to force himself on her before things could escalate. Other villagers, or rather actors, intervened and Liza escaped on her horse. In the control room, Girisha's father, furious, decided to shut down the entire setup as his son had still not learned his lesson. But then, news arrived that Grisha wanted to apologize to Liza. Seeing this as a positive development, the team instructed Liza to meet him. When Liza met Grisha, he sincerely apologized and she forgave him. A few days later, a big festival takes place in the village where it is said that the person you spend the night with will become your life partner. During this festival, Grisha meets Aglaya, who is distressed because her wedding date with an old man is approaching. She says that if the marriage happens, she will commit suicide and starts walking towards the river to jump in. The directors wanted Grisha to go after her to develop a sense of sympathy, but he does not follow her. Instead, he goes to Lisa and starts talking to her, saying that he has come from the future where there is a lot of advanced technology. Just then, a man shouts that Aglaya is about to drown in the river. Grisha remembers that she had mentioned suicide, so he rushes to save her and rescues her. Aglaya asks him why he saved her, saying she doesn't want to live such a life. Grisha takes her home, and later, Aglaya tries to get closer to him, but he leaves. The people in the control room are confused about where Grisha went because by nature, he was a playboy. Grisha goes to his friend and asks about Lisa's house. Meanwhile, the control room sends a message to Lisa, informing her that Grisha is coming to meet her. She prepares herself in traditional village attire. When Grisha arrives, he asks Lisa to come with him to the festival so they can be together. However, Lisa refuses, saying her father is unwell and she cannot go. This disappoints Grisha and he leaves. The next day, the director explains to Lisa that Grisha has lost interest in Aglaya and is now interested in her, so she must play the role of his love interest. Lisa's real boyfriend, Alexei, who was playing the role of a landlord's son, doesn't like this. However, Lisa says they are all here to make Grisha a better person and must work together to make the project successful. Now, Grisha starts spending more time with Lisa and gradually they bond. Grisha falls in love with her. One afternoon, while they are wandering around, they notice a bird flying strangely. Lisa knows it is a drone, so she tries to distract it. The control room instructs a sniper to shoot Grisha if anything goes wrong, but at the last moment, the drone stabilizes and flies correctly. Meanwhile, Alexei and Aglaya are both angry because Lisa was allowed to romance Grisha while Aglaya was replaced. They start developing feelings for each other and become intimate. Just then, Lisa and Grisha arrive. Seeing her boyfriend being intimate with another girl, Lisa feels heartbroken. The director calls Alexei and Aglaya and tells them that they were supposed to play siblings and they should have at least maintained that. On set, he fires both of them from the job. Lisa is deeply hurt by her boyfriend's betrayal. Grisha tries to cheer her up and arranges a candlelight dinner. After dinner, Grisha tells Lisa that if she's free, he is ready to marry her. Lisa thinks for a moment and then says yes. They kiss each other in the control room. Everyone is happy because for the first time, Grisha has shown emotions of sympathy and love. Even Grisha's father is pleased. On the other hand, Aglaya, who had been removed from the set, goes on a TV talk show and reveals that Russia's richest businessman's son, Grisha, has been kidnapped and is being treated very badly. The Russian police take this matter seriously and begin an investigation. Aglaya's father also panics and says that they need to wrap everything up and leave. However, the director says that Nishank will take some time to reach so they can take the entire setup to its final position. They plan that now the village will be attacked by Mongols. The Mongols arrive in the village. The villagers offer them food, but the Mongols want to take some girls with them. They choose one girl, but her father tries to rescue her, which leads to a fight between him and a Mongol soldier. They have an intense fight since both are skilled stuntmen. The girl's father loses and sacrifices his life for his daughter. Seeing this sacrifice, the Mongols leave the girl, but decide to take another one. This time, Lisa, Grisha's friend, challenges him, asking if he will do something for his love Lisa. At first, Grisha gets scared and runs away, surprising everyone as they believed he truly loved Lisa. Even in the control room, there is a lot of disappointment. However, after a while, he returns on a horse and fights the Mongols, saving Lisa. Just then, the police arrive, but the director informs them that it is just a movie shoot, so they cannot do anything and they leave. Grisha and Lisa ride the horse past the village boundary and come across a modern petrol pump which confuses Grisha. Lisa is about to tell him the truth when a sniper shoots him with a tranquilizer, making him unconscious. Grisha wakes up in a hospital where his father tells him that he has been in a coma for 3 months after a car accident. He returns to his luxurious life but no longer finds joy in it. Realizing his mistakes, he gives his car to the traffic police officer whom he had once helped get to the hospital. One day, Grisha sees Alexei and Aglaya at a nightclub and asks them about Lisa. They tell him the whole truth and take him to Lisa. Lisa meets Grisha and both confess their love for each other. A few months later, Grisha's father marries Anastasia and Grisha thanks him for putting him in this project, which changed his life. And with this, the movie ends.